Hello, I'm Full Paragon, and this is your guide to the Princess Lizard Runner Arena. This is the first new arena we've had in quite a while, and it is against a boss who is weak to lightning. There are 2 water runners on the first wave, but the second one has 4 fire runners, so they're actually weak to water instead of lightning like the rest of the characters in this arena. This boss will target the first slot, and on the first move it will bind the character in the first slot. To get around this, you can try and give that character an anti-bind necklace, but I don't know that that's really worth it, as that first character is going to be taking a lot of punishment, and you're probably better off with an elemental resistance necklace. On the first turn, the boss will do a big agility buff for itself and a physical damage buff. And on the 5th turn, it will give itself a big defense buff for both physical and magic. The first turn you can't really get around, but you can slow the boss down to prevent it from ulting with that physical damage buff. The 5th turn you can skip through the use of agility downs by forcing the boss to ult on that turn, and that will allow you to deal a lot more damage and really increase your score. This boss also deals nearly all physical damage, so make sure that character in the first slot is a tank who can withstand that physical punishment and keep themselves alive. As this arena will run during the release of Anniversary, I don't think the first day without Anniversary characters will matter all that much. And the Anniversary character that I predict will make the biggest impact on this arena is actually the off-element Idol Kazuma. Kazuma has a weakness debuff similar to Skull Erica, only his is tier 2. Weakness increases the amount of damage that super effective attacks deal against the boss, so in this case, lightning damage. He generally works well with physical and mage teams, although mages get a little bit more benefit as their basics will deal more damage to the boss, though physical teams will increase the damage that Kazuma deals himself, which is not insubstantial. I would expect Kazuma and other characters with the weakness debuff to start showing up on basically every single arena team, which is why he's going to be our first meta king. As for your first character, I suggest using Mitsurugi, especially if you have his personal weapon. That allows him to deal a lot of damage as well as have some mitigation and recovery, so he's the best in the first slot. Another great character here is Kenpo Leah. Her tier 2 agility buff and damage cut on her ult will allow Mitsurugi to survive longer, as well as deal more damage for your entire team, and she has a tier 2 physical attack up to make sure that there's very little downtime between attack buffs for your team. Kazuma, of course, will provide a tier 3 agility down on the boss, which will allow you to skip turn 5 and reduce the amount of damage your team will take when it does that initial agility and physical attack up. Other good options are Chris. She's not so good to come in later on, but she does deal a lot of personal damage. Iris is always a good choice to come in at the last second, dealing quite a bit of damage. I'm not sure if this team is going to win out over the mage team. It kind of just depends on how things shake out, but the lightning physical team is fairly strong. As for the mage team, there aren't all that many options for lightning mages. There's only 3 real lightning mages that can deal a significant amount of damage: Summer Wiz, School Union, and El Cielo. The good news is, though, they all deal a lot of damage. This, however, is where I think Idol Kazuma kind of loses out. Because of the mechanics of the boss, where it targets front, you really need someone sturdy who's good at absorbing a lot of damage. Normally on the lightning team, I'd suggest replacing Summer Wiz with Kazuma to get the most out of that weakness debuff, but here, I don't know that it's a good idea, as you sort of need Wiz to absorb the boss's damage and keep herself healthy with the heals on her basics, as well as the tier 3 agility down that her ultimate provides. I think Kazuma will be good to come in later after Wiz has fallen for some increased damage from your other members, but I just don't see that he's the best option up front here, since you really need School Union for her lightning ult to get the damage that the mages really need to come out ahead, and Lightning Seal is required for that agility buff, as well as the tier 3 attack up that otherwise this team is lacking, since Union is using a pure damage ult. As for a last slot option, I think again Iris is your best option, just because the mage team doesn't have all that many options. I'm going to start to move away from offering a full welfare team and go more toward talking about off-meta options that can still help your team out and deal a lot of damage. The first ones to mention are, of course, ReZero Megumin, Danmachi, Aqua, and Aiz. They can pretty much always be used to good effect. You can use ReZero Megumin on either a physical or mage team, though of course she does work better on a mage team, and she can help out with wave clear, blowing up, and then getting out of the way. She's not as effective here, as the boss will resist her explosion, but she still does well. Danmachi, Aqua, and Aiz are both awesome physical options that provide a lot of damage, although neither of them should be used as a tank since obviously the boss is going to deal more damage to them as they don't resist the boss's damage. That's not the case for Swimsuit Aqua. She resists the boss's damage, and she can heal herself and the team, especially if you're using her ult 2, which is Sacred Create Water. The other option, you could try and use Godqua here, but I don't think she's as good as a tank as Swimsuit Aqua, who is still a fairly strong option. As for Melissa, she has an attack down, which can really help against this boss in allowing you to survive, and her original ultimate is still a good option for its tier 3 defense down, which I will note does stack with weakness, so you can have both of the debuffs on the boss at the same time. If you don't have School Union, 3-star Lightning Union is a fairly strong option, although she's just not as good as School Union. The best tank might actually be Welfare Summerlia from the first event way back when. She has a heal, and combined with the damage cut and agility buff on her ultimate, make her a pretty stellar tank, especially if you don't have Mitsurugi or Kenpo Leah. That's the video. Thanks for watching. Anniversary is very soon, and I'll not only be doing an anniversary stream, but I will shortly be releasing the banner guide and talking about the new anniversary characters, so check back soon for that, and more guides for the big events happening during this anniversary.